Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making 2 half zip sweatshirts, one for myself and one for my daughter. If that sounds fun to you, keep watching. If this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, my name's Rachel. Thanks for stopping by. I like to make stuff here, and since I've primarily been sewing lately, you can expect to see a little bit of personal style chit chat here too. Okay, so today is my daughter's first day of preschool ever. So it's feeling a little bit weird over here to not have her in the house. When I dropped her off, it seemed like she was doing better than I was. So it's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment for the both of us, but I think things are gonna be really good. So to make things seem a little bit more normal today, I'm going to be starting a project. I know in my last video I had mentioned that I wanted to make something fun and I wanted to make something for myself, but my daughter does need a lot of new clothes right now. I feel like she just grew a whole bunch. So I have been in the process of making her a bunch of new pants. I just made her 7 pairs of new pants in the last week. But today I'm going to be starting to make us some matching sweatshirts. I haven't cut the fabric or anything. I haven't even put together the sewing pattern. So I just printed this off. It's like a million pages of sewing pattern. So I'm not really sure how much sewing I'm going to get to before I need to go pick her up. So the fabric I'm going to be using is this really fun fleece fabric. It's just got this kind of like retro wave rainbow print on it. I love these colors. They're bright and cheerful, but they are a little bit on the muted side. They're not like primary bright colors, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. They're a little bit more earthy than like your typical bright colors. And it's on this like beigey background. I got this at Joann's and I think I got it on clearance like a long time ago. It was, I think, last spring, so I've had this for a long time, knowing that I wasn't gonna wear this in the summertime, but I would probably use it in the fall, and then we ended up moving across the country. So now that we're here in San Francisco, I feel like this is gonna be perfect, because it is a lightweight fleece, and I feel like in the winter, this could go over like a long sleeve shirt or something, and in the spring and summer, it'll be perfect layer to wear when it's like a little bit chilly. So I'm gonna be using the same fabric for both my daughter's sweatshirt and my own, so we'll have little matching sweatshirts. For the ribbing, I'm going to be using this ribbed fabric. This is like my favorite ribbed fabric from Joann's. I got this last summer, and I do think it was just part of the summer collection, but it's this perfect off-white rib knit. I think this is like a cottony blend because I've recently got a rib knit that was rayon from Joann's, and I love the color of it. If you saw this fabric video of mine, it's like the burnt orange ribbing, and it's so beautiful. But I did make a pair of pants for my daughter. I made a couple things for my daughter out of it, and I do notice that it snags really easily. So this fabric is amazing. I've actually made a few things out of it. This is one of the things that I made. So this is the Saga sweatshirt. I'll link this pattern below. I made this over the summer, and it's just this perfect cream colored oversized sweatshirt. So I'll definitely make what I sewed in my second year of sewing video at some point. I think I'm going to make that in like April or something, March or April. And I'll for sure include everything that I made over the summer that I didn't film. Since we were moving, I didn't really do a lot of filming, but I did do a lot of sewing. So I do plan on sharing that with you guys. I was able to find this same fabric when we were staying in Oregon, like mid-move. I couldn't find this at any other Joann's in Boston, and I'm so glad that I picked it up because now that we've gotten to San Francisco, I still haven't been able to find it. So I do feel like this ribbing was just last summer, and I'm really hoping that they get more of it this year. I also got it in a navy blue, which I made some other things out of too. But this is just perfect ribbing. It's super stretchy, but it also has like a firm stretch to it, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's really good for cuffs and stuff because it's not gonna just like stretch out. You know what I mean? So this will look cute against this. It's definitely gonna be kind of brighter white next to it. It is like an off-white though. And it'll match the zippers I'm using too. Okay, so I have 2 of these sport zippers. I hope this is the right size. I think that for my daughters, this will definitely be long enough, but I'm not sure. I don't really know. The sewing pattern that I'm using for myself, I might have to get another one of these, but it's just one of these really nice sports zippers, super smooth. And I really like kind of how chunky they are. I think that this will look cute with kind of like the retro print. But yeah, looking at it now, I think I'm gonna have to get another one for myself. And for the patterns I'm gonna be using, this is the pattern I'm gonna be using for mine. It's patterned by WardrobeByMe. I have used a pattern from the shop before to make my husband a button-down shirt. I really liked the instructions. Also, the fit for my husband was perfect. So I trust the sizing and the instructions and everything. So I'm really looking forward to using this pattern. It does kind of look like oversized, which I really like, kind of like the roomy oversized feel, but I think that I'm going to crop it a little bit just because most of the pants that I wear are high-waisted and I don't want this hitting right at my hips. I'd rather it hit a little bit closer to my waist. So I do think I'm gonna crop it up maybe like 2 inches or something just to shorten it a little bit. Also proportionally, I do have kind of a shorter waist anyway, so a lot of things that are supposed to fit at the hip kind of hit below my hip in like kind of an unflattering way. So I am learning that about using certain patterns, that just kind of taking the waist up a little bit actually helps a lot for fit for me. Lighting is getting kind of weird. Here we go. Okay, and then for the pattern I'm using for my daughters, I'm going to be using this pattern right here. I've never used a pattern from this shop before, but I really like how simple this style is. You can do it with or without the ribbed cuffs, and I've decided that I am going to use the version with the ribbing just so that our sweatshirts match like perfectly. So I'll be sure to let you guys know what the instructions are like on that one. So for now, let's see. I actually have to go get my daughter really soon. So I'm gonna start putting these together. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to cut out some fabric and maybe even get started sewing. So let's go do that. Hey you guys, so I just finished cutting out all the pattern pieces for my daughter's sweatshirt, so I figured I would start with the smaller one first. Putting together this PDF pattern didn't take very long. So I cut out all of the fabric pieces, and then I also have this little piece. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right on top. I have this little tiny piece of interfacing here, so I'm gonna put this on the front of the sweatshirt, and then it has you like sliced down the middle. So I'm gonna prepare that piece, and then I think that I'm gonna put like the main parts of the sweatshirt together tonight, just like the bodice and the collar part. I don't really know how far I'm gonna get, but I'm just going to start that now. It's 9:20, so we'll see how late I stay up doing this. Probably not much later, I'm pretty tired, so we will get started and then see how far we get. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock now. It's time to go to bed, but I did just want to show you guys that I finished the collar. It looks really cute. I am curious to compare the construction of this collar to the one that I'm going to be making for myself. It doesn't look perfect on the inside, which is fine, but if I were to line this, I feel like this would look a little bit more professional and everything. I feel like this is the weight that I'm looking for right now anyway, but maybe next time I make this, I would line it. There aren't instructions for lining it, but I bet I can figure it out. Anyway, this is what it looks like so far. Tomorrow I can add the sleeves, do the side seams, add all the cuffs, and I feel like that's not gonna take too long. So I feel like we're almost done, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed and I will see you guys tomorrow. morning. Okay, so I just made coffee for my daughter and I. So I do want to work on that sweatshirt a little bit more today, but I also need to work on a little baby shower present for one of our friends. So I'm probably going to do that while my daughter naps. And she's been getting a little bit more interested in watching me use my sewing machine lately. So I think we're going to spend a little...
Mom.
Okay. I'll help you get down. There you go. Just scooch. Oh. In the past, I've always worked on sewing projects while she's sleeping just because of all the sharp objects, but now that she's a little bit older, she's a little bit better at following safety directions, so we might attach some sleeves today. We'll see how long she stays interested in it, but I think we're gonna go to the beach or something today. It's kind of chilly, but it's really beautiful outside today, and we've been having a lot of rain here in San Francisco, so I think we're gonna take advantage of that. So we'll see how far we get on the sweatshirt today. Hey you guys, so today is Sunday. It is the Super Bowl. Today we're just having a little family hangout. I'm gonna be making some pretzels. We do watch football, but we are Seahawks fans, so. Before that, I did want to show you guys just how I'm going to be assembling the pattern and kind of my plans for cutting out the fabric. I'll probably cut out the fabric today. I don't know if I'm actually going to start putting the sweatshirt together. But before that, I wanted to show you that I did finish the little bubble romper for our friends. It turned out so cute. I love the little ruffles around here. It has a little snap down the back. It has little snaps on the bottom here with little stretchy leg holes and holes for the arms. I have used this pattern before. This is the pattern that I used for this project. I do really like the instructions for this pattern. It can be a little bit tricky around certain areas like the neck binding, the plackets for the bottom, stuff like that. So it's really important to have good instructions, and these were really great. One thing that I thought about when I first started sewing was how it might be a good idea to start with kids' clothing because they're smaller. They should take a little bit less time, but for something like this, this takes quite a bit of time just because of all of these different small pieces of fabric. It is pretty intricate pattern. I love how it turned out and it was so worth it. I did not film making this, but if you are interested in seeing me make more like baby and toddler clothing, let me know, because I know a lot of you guys are probably looking for clothes to make for yourselves and not necessarily for kids, but some people do like to see how I make stuff for babies and for my daughter, so let me know in the comments. But I did want to show you guys what I'm working on today. So right now I'm putting together the pattern for the sweatshirt for myself. I really love how WardrobeByMe does their PDF patterns because instead of making like a huge sheet that goes all together, they separate it out. So it's like, so this is a piece of the sweatshirt and it's just 6 pieces of paper, and then you have another piece that's 6 pieces of paper. I just feel like it's a little bit more manageable that way, and I'm not having to deal with like a huge piece of paper to cut out all these little shapes. But yeah, a couple of you guys have asked me in the comments how to put together a PDF pattern. The way that I do it is I just print it out at 100%. There are a bunch of pieces of paper with all of the pattern lines on them, and then you tape them all together and then you just cut out your size. So another thing that I really love about WardrobeByMe is their patterns just go together without you having to trim any edges or anything. So they kind of overlap with this. I don't really know how to explain this. Do you see the line? And then this overlaps it. So you don't have to trim away any pieces of paper and like line them up a certain way. They just go together really easily. So that makes this part of the process a lot faster. And I know that a lot of people find this part of the process like really daunting. So yeah, if you're one of those people, this is a great pattern shot for you. So since I'm cutting out the fabric today, I did just measure from the base of my neck to like mid-waist, like mid-back, and I realized that my torso is a lot shorter than what this pattern measures for. So I am gonna make it a little bit shorter. I think I'm gonna crop it up like 3 or 4 inches, just because I do want it to be a little bit more cropped anyway, plus I have kind of a shorter waist. The other thing about this pattern, I thought that this pattern was unisex when I bought it. So I was like, oh, I can make one for myself and then I can make one for my husband. I just figured that there was a size that would fit my husband, but then when I was looking at the size chart, I realized that this is made for somebody who's, I think, like 5'6" or 5'7", and my husband is a lot taller than that. So I would have to do a ton of adjusting in terms of like length and stuff, and I think for like shoulder width too. So I think if I have enough fabric after I make mine, then I will have to get a different pattern to use for my husband's. So we'll see how much fabric I have left. I think that I will have enough for all of us to get a sweatshirt, so we will see. But for now, I'm just going to cut all these out and then hopefully get all of the fabric for the sweatshirt cut out. And then I'll make some pretzels today and I'll probably assemble this, I don't know, during the football game, maybe tomorrow too. So let's go. Okay, one other thing that I forgot to say, I'm going to be using view A. So on this pattern, there are a bunch of little markings for views A, B, and C. I'm going to be doing A. Another thing that I'm going to try to be more careful about with this project is making sure that I only cut fabric for view A, because something that I do a lot is I'll accidentally cut extra pattern pieces because I'm not paying attention to what each pattern piece says. So I always end up cutting more fabric than I need to. Because yeah, some of these are not for view A at all. So I don't need to cut out this piece because that's only for view B, but this one is for views A and C. View A has the ribbing around the bottom and the cuffs, and it also doesn't have like a stripe down the sleeve. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, so I just finished cutting out all of the fabric. I do think that I have enough left over for my husband's sweatshirt too. The only concern that I have is with the pattern matching and like if I want it to be symmetrical on both sides. That always uses quite a bit more fabric than if I were to just be cutting out a solid color or like a smaller print. But I did figure out how to make all of these symmetrical on mine. Even the sleeves. On this seam, all of these stripes are going to line up just right. So I wanted to make sure that everything looks even on both sides, and that will be a little bit more of a challenge with my husband's sweatshirt, I think. I think that what I might do if I don't have enough fabric, I might make him a sweatshirt that has like an accent color on the top or something. So we'll see. But we're gonna go make some pretzels now, and then we're gonna watch some football, and maybe later on tonight I'll start putting this together. Okay. Hi, okay, it's Monday now and I didn't work on this at all yesterday. So after I cut out all the fabric, we just watched the Super Bowl, we had some pretzels, and then afterwards I just kind of spent some time editing this video. So we have all the pieces cut out. My daughter just got back from school and she's down for her little after school nap. So I don't really know how much time I have to work on it, but I figured I would just kind of get started, at least like prepping things and, you know, the first few steps of this project. And then maybe I can finish it tonight. I'm hoping I can finish it tonight, we'll see. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. So I'm gonna get started. Okay guys, so my camera died. All I did was do the shoulder seams, and then I also attached just the bottom edge of the collar. So this is what it's currently looking like right now. I just did a little slit in the front just to make room for the collar. Now I'm doing the zipper part. And I thought that it was gonna be really similar to the one that I made for my daughter, but it looks quite a bit different. And the instructions are a little bit confusing to me, but luckily there is a video. So the pattern maker actually made a video showing exactly how to make this. So I'm looking at that too, and I think that I've figured it out. That's the other nice thing about this pattern company is on YouTube, they do have a lot of tutorials for their patterns. So it's definitely coming in handy. So I'm gonna try to film making that part. We use a zipper guard in this. So I just ended up using a little piece of my ribbed fabric. So hopefully that'll look good. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to look like, but we will find out. Okay, you guys, I think it's actually gonna turn out really good. Now I kind of wish I did this for my daughters because it looks really nice. So this is what it's gonna look like. I guess I just flipped it. Don't know if that's a good, there you go. So you can see a little bit of that ribbing through, and that is going to make it look nice from that side. I don't really know. I'll probably end up adding something a little softer to this side. Maybe that's also in the pattern and I just haven't gotten to that step yet, but that's what it's gonna look like. So I'll probably just finish the zipper part of this, which will probably take a little bit. And then after that, I'll go get my daughter up, and then maybe later on tonight, I can finish the rest of the sweatshirt. So I'll see you guys then. Hi guys. Okay, so it's the next day. I didn't have any time last night to do any more sewing, but I got this far yesterday, so I think that I might be able to actually finish this today. All I need to do is sew down the collar to like the inner neck part, and then I need to do some top stitching around the zipper. I need to add on the sleeves, do the side seams, and then add on all the cuffs, which I know sounds like a lot, but I do think it'll go pretty quickly. My daughter is down for a nap right now, so I'll see how much I can get done, and then when she wakes up, we need to make a bunch of Valentines for her to bring to school tomorrow. So I'll show you guys how those turn out. I think that they're gonna be pretty cute. So for now, I'm gonna get started, and we'll see how this goes. Hi. So I finished the sweatshirts and they turned out really good. So before I show you guys the try on of both of these, I just wanted to kind of share some thoughts about the construction of both of them, how they were different, how they were the same, what I would do different next time. So I'm just gonna go through each one individually, and then I'll show you guys the try on right after. Okay, so first I made this one right here. This one's my daughter's, so tiny. So I would say it's pretty true to size. I did the 4/5 just so it would be long enough, and I figured if the sleeves are a little bit long, I could always roll them up on her. So this is like a really nice cozy fit on her. Putting this together was really simple. The hardest part was probably the zipper, just because I am still getting used to putting zippers in things like this. But this was the first time I had ever added a zipper to something that didn't end at the bottom, I guess, or didn't have a seam right here. So it was really nice to see kind of how you split fabric and add a zipper into it. I'll show you guys kind of what the collar looks like. So when it's unzipped, this is what it looks like on the inside here. So it's not like super, super clean all through here. Next time I would probably end up adding a little bit more fabric. So just like a 1/4 inch more fabric so I could tuck this under instead of just sewing down the serged edge. Because normally, I mean, she'll have it zipped to like right here or maybe a little bit higher, but she's never gonna have it fully zipped up. So if it's open at all, you're going to see that serging thread. I mean, if your serging thread matches your fabric perfectly, that should be fine. But I do think that, you know, this little ball of threads right here isn't the cutest thing ever. It's not a big deal, but that's something that I would do differently next time. I am glad that I added this little piece of fabric on the bottom here because this edge would be really rough. So that's one thing that they don't include in the pattern Also, I think my zipper was just a little bit longer than what the pattern called for, so I did need to cut the end of the zipper. So it made adding that little piece of fabric a little bit more necessary. But yeah, zipped up, it all looks really, really nice. I did do some top stitching around the zipper, which I feel like just makes it look really nice and finished. The pattern matching also turned out really good on hers. This could line up a tiny bit better, but you can't really tell. But the sleeves are both the same. It looks nice and symmetrical on both sides, front and back. And yeah, the cuffs came together super quickly. That day that I was finishing the sleeves and the cuffs and everything probably took me an hour, not even an hour. So yeah, I feel like I will be making quite a few more of these for her just because they're so functional. The fit is really nice and cozy on her, and I feel like this one's gonna last her a long time just because it is kind of a roomier fit and it is kind of on the long side for her now. So I'm really excited with how hers turned out. That is hers, and I'll show you mine. Okay, so here's the one I made for myself. It turned out really cute. It is a little bit on the cropped side, but I feel like I made it the perfect length. It hits right below where my high-waisted pants hit me, so it kind of overlaps the top of my pants, so it's really nice because I could wear it untucked and it's still kind of cropped, or I could just do a little front tuck and it could show like the front of my pants, I guess. So it's the perfect length. I do wish I would have sized up, maybe like 1 or even 2 sizes, just to give me the cozier fit that I wanted, because this does fit. It is a little bit short in the sleeves for me, and I don't think that's because the sleeves are necessarily short. I think it's because my shoulders are kind of broad, so my actual shoulder joint like ends here. So the length from here to here is longer than what this size kind of accounts for. So these are supposed to be drop shoulders. This seam almost hits me at the edge of my shoulder. So I think it's supposed to hit more like down here, but since my shoulder is a little bit wider, it hits a little bit higher up. So I feel like based on like my waist measurement and my bust measurement, shoulders generally are a little bit more narrow. So I feel like I could have sized up everywhere, but then just kept the ribbing for my normal size. So it would just be a little bit more gathered at the bottom so that the waist would still fit, but I would have a little bit more room in my shoulders. I made a size 6. This fits me nicely. I do want like a cozy feel though, I guess. And I feel like an 8 would be slightly roomier, but I feel like a 10 would be just like the perfect roominess, and then it would still be cropped and still fit at my waist. I know that I'm still going to wear this quite a bit. It's just more of like a stylish fit and less of a cozy fit. So I do feel like it's flattering and that it looks good on me, but it doesn't have that like cozy feel that I'm looking for, if that makes sense. Okay, a couple other things that are a little bit different. It does have a little zipper guard right here. So that's kind of like a nice little detail that I really like. So I just added a little bit of that ribbing fabric right there. I could have added this fabric too, but I just didn't want to have to pattern match that. And I do feel like that kind of ties in the cuffs a little bit. So I really liked that part. I would probably do that on my daughter's if I made her another one too, because it's just really easy. But I do need to clean up the inside. So this is kind of a mess. I don't really know if this is like the final result normally, so I feel like I'm just gonna have to watch a couple videos. I do really like how this is tucked under and top stitched. That's what I would do on my daughter's next time. But then you've got like a little bit of interfacing and just like the exposed zipper here. So I'm not really sure how to avoid the exposed zipper. I know that I can just trim back all that interfacing though. Some of it's kind of stuck down, so I'm gonna have to kind of peel some of that up. But I don't really like the look of that, and since this is a little bit narrow in the shoulders, if I do zip it up to like here, I feel like it kind of pulls on my shoulders. So I'm always going to wear this a little bit open, and you're always going to see that. So I don't know if that's really an issue with like the pattern or if I just didn't do a very good job. But considering everything, I feel like this turned out really good, especially for like doing some of these things for the first time, like adding the zipper guard and everything like that. So the pattern matching is pretty good. These sleeves, for some reason, they didn't end up matching perfectly. I feel like I haven't noticed that until I just looked at it like really critically. Also, this turned out pretty good. It could be a little bit better, but I feel like it's not really that noticeable that the pattern doesn't match perfectly on both sides. Again, the cuffs are great. I do feel like if I do this again, I know that this was my regular size 6, but I think that I would adjust this a little bit smaller because I do feel like this is gonna stretch out a tiny bit, and at that point it might just kind of hang. So maybe in a couple months I'll end up taking this off, making it a little bit shorter and then re-sewing it on. We'll see how it does though. I know I sound like I'm complaining a lot about how this sweatshirt turned out. I do really like how this sweatshirt turned out. I will definitely use this pattern again. So I guess that's why I have so many little notes. Since I do plan on using this pattern again, I know little things that bother me now that I can avoid next time around. I feel like I'll use this pattern in a lot of different types of fabric. I kind of want to use this in like a lighter weight fabric for more of like, I don't know, summery zip up. Maybe I could do like a waffle knit or something for summer, or I could do like a lightweight tear cherry or something, who knows. I do really like how this turned out. And yeah, in terms of this pattern shop, I still really like this pattern shop. I love how there were written instructions, diagrams, and a video to go along with this. So that really helped, especially for the zipper and everything like that. So the zipper installation was completely different on this than it was on this. I feel like this was easier, but you got like a cleaner effect with this one, I guess, just by adding that zipper guard. This is definitely something I'll do again. You guys enjoyed the try on. I will be making one of these for my husband too. I don't know which pattern I'm going to be using for his yet, because WardrobeByMe does have this pattern right here that looks really nice, but I don't think I'm even gonna have to add a contrasting color on top. So I could use that pattern with just this fabric. I would have to do some tricky pattern matching though, just because all of these waves are so close to each other that I feel like at the seam they would overlap. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at a few other patterns, but at some point you guys will see what I make for him. Like I said earlier in this video, I will be making a second year of sewing video where I show you guys everything, and that'll be coming up this spring, so that'll definitely be included in that video. Okay, well that's everything I have for you guys today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing that. If you like this video, then like this video, and if you didn't like this video, then I hope you like the next one. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you later. Bye.